Martis Lander's question is up next. It says, what are your thoughts on breaking the rule of paying in cash for a luxury car, such as perhaps with a 0.99% APY deal for the Tesla Model Y?
If you could see how many comments and questions have come in on the stinking Tesla thing. On the stinking Tesla thing. Well, first thing you got to answer is Tesla a luxury vehicle, right? Like that. You got to answer that. Is Tesla a luxury?
Well, but this is specifically the Model Y,
right?
It's hard with we've even done we did a show on that, and I think we were right there as in a gray zone because with the tax credits and then the pricing, the Elon. Wild and crazy Elon with his pricing schemes to try to move inventory. And look, I'm not super shocked by this. This is a one-off. We have my favorite Mexican restaurant is by the parking lot that they park all the Teslas. And I kid you not, there was a 2-week period where I was like, oh my goodness, do you see how many Model Ys are just building up in that parking lot? I was like, this can't be healthy. Obviously, they've got this machine, the Borg is putting out all of these Teslas, but yet there's not enough people buying them. So crazy Elon does a 0.9% interest rate. And I will tell you, when I ate Mexican last week, there's a lot less Model Ys in that parking lot. So I think there's a lot of people looking at it. Look, I still think even if they give you 0.9% for longer than 3 years, you pay the car off within 3 years, because it's just. And then Tesla, specifically the Model Y, the Model 3 and the Y could probably make it. We've even done the math on it. Make a case for it. It does. It's no different than a Toyota, Camry or Honda Accord. It's really the now the Cybertruck, the X, and the S's that kind of really fall into the luxury price because they've been so aggressive with the pricing. But I'll give you still can't go beyond 3 years. I mean, I think even if they give you 4 years, 5 years at 0.9%, pay that car off, because I want you to feel the squeeze of this thing is depreciating, especially a Tesla. I will tell you, they used to hold up, but because of all this pricing that's going on, there's a lot of depreciation washed. It's going to come over that car that you just need to be prepared for.
My thought is, just because you can doesn't mean that you should. Like, how many times are you checking out, Brian, and like you're online and you're checking out and you'll be like, hey, for 4 easy payments, you can buy now, pay later. You can buy now, pay later. And I do the math and I'm like, oh, wait, there's no interest charged here. Right, I can just make 4 equal payments over the next 4 months instead of paying for it now. Well, time value of money would suggest that I should take advantage of every single buy now, pay later opportunity and leave that cash. You would never do that. Just because you can and just because you can get your head to wrap around the math doesn't mean that that's something that you ought to pursue. I will tell you, if I personally, where I'm at right now in my journey, if I were in the market looking for a Tesla, even with Elon putting this rate out there, I still think if it's not going to impede my other savings, my other investing, I still think I'm going to pay cash for it, even with as attractive as it is.
Well, cash is preferred on all vehicles. They depreciate too much. So, I mean, I agree with you. In our research with our wealth survey we do on our clients, now we know because we've added the question over the last 2 years, is did you pay cash for your first car? Most say no. They just like me. They had to finance. So that's what 23.8 is supposed to be, that bridge to get you to reliable transportation. But if you want to know what the default is, and it's what I use, it's what you use, and what our clients do, paying cash is still the preferred and better way to do it. So, I'm always going to fall on the fact that pay cash is the choice, and then the reliable transportation. And I don't know that I want a 22-year-old, 23-year-old thinking, what my first car ought to be is Tesla. Well, just because of, there are road trip issues with, and I know when I take mine like down to Georgia. But it's just that you're banned with.
You got to be logistical when you do that, though.
I mean, like if I was going to Florida, I would probably use my wife's car more than I'd use mine. Now, Georgia, I figured out how I can go to Buc-ee's on one charge up while I'm getting my brisket sandwich, and then I'm good to go. So it has now a 4-hour halo around it. And I thought when the Cybertruck came out and it was going to be a 450-mile range, now that halo would go to the 6 or 7 hours that you typically see. Nobody wants to do road trips much longer than that anyway. But we're stuck in this where you need a vehicle that goes beyond the 3 to 4 hour halo on road trips. But by the way, weekly, because I want to make sure my Tesla people know I still love them because I'm one of them. On the weekly, I love not having to go to Costco like I do about every other week for my wife's car to save the 50, 60 cents a gallon. I don't have to do that because I just plug my car in twice a week and it charges while I'm sleeping. So it does have benefits on your weekly, which is probably more of a time saver.
No oil changes.
And no oil changes. For some reason, they put weird sized tires, so tire rotation, which I don't know if I like that though.
You don't rotate the tires on?
Well, you don't get to rotate because he put different sizes on the front and back. So you just let them wear out.